Welcome back to Eyewitness News this morning. We're joined now by Charlie O'Hara. He's here to answer your legal questions. We already have a couple phone calls. So caller number one, go ahead with your question right now for Charlie.
Hi, I was wondering, is drug use, admittance of drug use 3 days prior, give the police the right to yank your child?
Well, I mean, that's a very complicated issue. Obviously, we don't want parents under the influence of drugs when they're caring for their children. If someone admits, I don't know what kind of drug we're talking about here. I mean, technically, alcohol is a drug. Obviously, we have the marijuana things that happened yesterday. All those things are taken into consideration. The police, if there's an emergency and the kids aren't being taken care of, the police can take the children for the emergency. If there's not an emergency, then one could go to court if there was a divorce or something and argue about which parent ought to have the child if one of the parents is using drugs while the children are there. It gets into a much more gray area if the drug use occurs when the parent does not have the child and isn't around the child and say they're smoking marijuana, then it's a much more gray area. But obviously it's a factor that people shouldn't be using drugs when they're taking care of kids.
All right, we do have another caller with a question for you, Charlie. So caller, go ahead with your question right now.
Okay.
Go ahead. Caller, are you still there?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead with your question.
Yes, I would like to know, my daughter, hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, my daughter's on, trying to get disability. And, well, not disability, child support.
Okay.
And the fella that she has the baby by, and he's on disability.
Well, I guess to answer the question is anyone that fathers a child or mothers a child, if there's a disparity in income or something, everybody's required to pay child support. Now, it may not be very much because of the circumstances, but the child is the paramount thing here, and the best interest of the child controls. So regardless of how you're getting your income, you have a duty to support your child, and everybody has to do that. If you're on disability, obviously it's not going to be very much, but everybody has a duty to support their children, and that's the way the law reads.
All right, could police step in at all? I mean, obviously child support cases are very complicated when it comes to divorces too.
Actually, police don't usually get involved in that.
Okay.
You'd get some kind of help from the state if you don't have enough money to live.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Charlie, so much for being here. Really appreciate you. We'll have another check of weather coming up in just a few minutes. We're back in a moment.